Four-wheel drive, A final, leg number 3. Crompton has already taken four-wheel drive. Now to the rest in podium positions.
Afterwards, I believe,
Many thanks to Shoemaker, Model 2, RC Octane, Reed Bits, and FF Racing.
Okay, we're just checking everything's recording for RacewayOne, which we are good. Okay, drivers ready on the rostrum. Remember, spectators, no one touch the cars if they crash near you. Only designated marshals, please. So make it a good one. Final race of the day, final race of the weekend. A final, leg number 3. Here we go. So off we go. We know Paul Crompton's already took the victory here at Southport today, winning legs 1 and 2. Here he comes on leg 3, trying to make it a clean sweep. Podium position still up for grabs. Not sure where anyone's going to finish, so we'll let the computer work that out. We'll just call it on the track as normal. Jamie Hall's already had an early doors mistake, so he's lost about 3 positions. It's Paul Crompton, Neil Craig, Tommy Hall down the straight, Lee Martin, Ben Smith, Jamie Hall down to the 6th spot. So Crompton out front from Neil Craig and Tommy Hall. 7/10 of a second cover the top 3. Lee Martin not too far back in 4th. So first, second and third pulled out a little bit of a gap, and Tommy Hall looking on Neil Craig. Craig opens the door. Drag race down the straight. Oh, so close. The guys realise how slippery it is down there. So Tommy Hall just checks back in behind Neil Craig. And these two really going out of there. Tommy Hall up the inside of Craig. What a manoeuvre that was. Will Neil Craig come back at him, and Lee Martin not too far back. Here comes Ben Smith and Jamie Hall recovering. But look at Paul Crompton. 1 minute on the clock. 2-second lead for Paul Crompton. Crompton, the all-pink machine. Going through the middle of the track now, but all our eyes are on the 2 spot. Oh, Crompton's over. Gets it back on his wheels, but look how close it's going to be now. The win of this one could decide the podium 2 and 3 spots. Crompton down the straight, Tommy Hall, Neil Craig, Lee Martin, Ben Smith, Jamie Hall. 1.6 seconds covering the top 6 cars in this. Half a second out front, and Tommy Hall got away through somehow on Paul Crompton. So Tommy Hall hits the sharp end of this A final leg 3. Crompton there in the 2 spot. Neil Craig there 3rd. Lee Martin and Ben Smith, Jamie Hall all closing in. Crompton's had a mistake, I think, on the bank corner, so it's Craig through to the 2 spot. Tommy Hall, Neil Craig, Lee Martin out to 3. Crompton's just trying to not get too involved in this. He knows he's won. He's letting these guys battle it out for the rest of the podium. So down the straight they go. Tommy Hall's lead, 1.3 seconds over Neil Craig. I think Crompton's part of that one. So Tommy Hall, Neil Craig, Lee Martin, Paul Crompton is out of this one, I think. Ben Smith.
3, 2, 5, 1, 6, 4, 8, 7, 9, 10, leader on left 7.
So Tommy Hall 1.7 clear. That's what. So Tommy Hall 1.7 clear out front. Through the back section he goes. Neil Craig, Lee Martin, Jamie Hall, Luke Holdsworth, Josh Holdsworth, Ben Smith and Charlie Saunders. Ben Pugh and Paul Crompton still running out there. So 1 minute 50 remaining. Who's going to be battling for this podium positions? Tommy Hall, Neil Craig. The gap 1.8 seconds at the sharp end. And then another 1 second back to Lee Martin, Jamie Hall. And the Holdsworth brothers are coming as well. 1 minute 30 remaining on the master clock. Tommy Hall still leading Neil Craig. Craig taking half a second on the last lap alone though, as Tommy backed it off, as Neil Craig just absolutely banzaied it. Let's see what they do this time. Pretty much the same lap time, so 1.5 seconds still the gap for Tommy Hall out front over Neil Craig. Lee Martin got some breathing space now behind him, so is he going on attack mode to Neil Craig? He's 2 seconds behind him. Neil Craig really pushing on this time. 1 minute to go. Onto the straight. Neil Craig is closing in on Tommy Hall. The gap comes down to 1.3. Craig really giving it everything. These two are battling for the podium positions. Who's going to get second? Who's going to get third or fourth? Craig. Oh, he really caught a bump there on the back section, giving Tommy Hall the breathing space. And Lee Martin closing now to Neil Craig. 30 seconds to go. Tommy Hall with a 3.5 second lead. 20 seconds to go. Tommy Hall is not going to lose it from there, I'm sure. Neil Craig still in a solid second. Lee Martin third. Luke Holdsworth 4. Ben Smith 5. Josh Holdsworth 6. Tommy Hall goes through to start the final lap now of leg number 3 with a 4 second lead over Neil Craig. Lee Martin just a 1.5 seconds further back. So it's to the line this time. Tommy Hall just brings it around the last few corners. He's backed it right off. He's going safe. And it's going to be a great result and a win for leg 3. Tommy Hall, what a race. Neil Craig, great effort there in second. Lee Martin third. Luke Holdsworth fourth. Ben Smith in 5th.